We're back in the saddle again, boys. So Tech1 is confirmed to be working on the next Dying Light game due to a job posting for a lead online game designer. The job details state that they're looking for someone with senior level experience in games as a service titles, aka live service, to help craft a new experience in the Dying Light franchise. As this role, you will lead a team through a full development cycle from conception all the way to release and then continuous support after launch. And you also get a dedicated buddy too. Now, this is obviously something that we already knew, that more Dying Light is coming. I mean, Dying Light, it's the pillar of Tech1 right now. It is the foundation of what they do, and they're going all in. They want to expand the franchise. They want Dying Light to continue to grow and prosper. Even this past summer, I got the chance to interview the lead franchise director, and he practically confirmed that more Dying Light was indeed on the way. But what I really want to focus on here is what the job title says and what it means for fans of the series. Now, I don't think this is a job posting for Dying Light 3 specifically. I think it's for something entirely different. I do think that it's going to be some sort of spin-off game or a possible new experience that just takes the Dying Light franchise into a completely new direction that is always online. And don't worry, because I do think that Dying Light 3 will still be a thing. I think that game is going to focus on Aiden and Crane and continue that story with grounded parkour and yada yada yada, you know, what we would expect from a Dying Light game. Whereas, for convenience sake, let's say that this new experience is a true live service Dying Light game, which could very well happen. And so, I mean, for better or worse, this is just how games are nowadays, and I can see that Tech1, who, again, majority stakeholder, Tencent, could want to pursue a future into the live service realm with the Dying Light franchise. I mean, looking back at it, well, not looking back at it, we know it's true. Dying Light 2 kind of dabbled into it, whereas The Beast played it entirely safe and didn't really embrace those live service elements. Dying Light 2 kind of went above and beyond in that area. Just by looking at the main menu and looking at how some of the game is presented to you, you can tell it's a bit more live servicey than The Beast. Dying Light as a whole with the franchise, with the 3 games that we've gotten so far, but they never really went all in. And this new experience, let's just say for convenience sake, they're going all in. They're fully embracing it from the beginning of this game's development. It is intended to be live service, and it's intended to be played numerous times over the coming months and years as a player. And from a project scope, it could range from a variety of ideas. Some ideas could be incredibly awesome ideas that I would love to see happen to the Dying Light franchise, and then it could go to like, oh my god, I want to blow my brains out because that happened to me, Danny. So let's start with that. Let's say that this Dying Light game is fully embracing live service. What could we get? What I can tell you is that a Dying Light Battle Royale game is very unlikely. I mean, they had their stab at a Battle Royale game with Bad Blood, which, looking back at it, it performed very underwhelmingly. Like, it's the live player count was abysmal, to say the least. But, not gonna lie, if you had the right people, it was kind of fun. Let's fucking go! Let's fucking go! I don't think Tech1 would want to bring in a brand new team to focus on live service elements for the next few years on a genre that is kind of not dying, but it's very much oversaturated at the moment. I mean, yes, you still have Fortnite, Apex, Warzone. They are probably the front runners, and also PUBG Mobile too. I don't know. I just can't see Tech1 going back and going all in on a battle royale in the next 2 to 3 years. But yet again, developers going all in on shitty, dying genres seems to be a pattern recently. Remember that dogshit game at the end of the Game Awards? I don't know what it's called. Hold on, let me Google it. It is called High Guard. Granted, not a battle royale. It is a hero shooter, but it is another free-to-play one. And Lord knows how many free-to-play hero shooters we currently have. Which brings me to my next awful idea, some sort of competitive hero parkour game. Honestly, it hurts for me to speak that out loud, that a game like that could exist in the Dying Light universe. I would be very upset if that somehow manifested, but it's not off the table. They have the resources, they have the characters, and I wouldn't be surprised if someone thought about this idea. Honestly, thinking about it more and more, like I said, they have the characters. Could you imagine a hero shooter of Kyle Crane, Aiden Caldwell, the Mother, and all these other various Dying Light characters running around in a PvP-like environment? That would be something. Again, just bouncing off of ideas, we're starting from the absolute worst to Okay, that's actually pretty cool. I would love to see that. But bouncing off of that competitive aspect, there was Be the Zombie in the past, where players could control a night hunter with special infected abilities to hunt down campaign players. Just something to consider. I don't know how that would work in a fully fleshed out game. I don't even know if there's enough resources to make it compelling enough for a 1v4 gameplay style like that. I mean, what was that one game? Evolve. Remember that piece of shit? Man, that was bad. Obviously, for a game mode, a Be the Zombie mode could work very well into Dying Light the Beast or into other future Dying Light games, but it doesn't seem like that's what they're going for here. It looks like they're going for something entirely new that's embracing a fully multiplayer aspect. So, what else could it be? One idea is a mobile game. Honestly, pretty straightforward, and I feel like this could be one of the best case scenarios. I do have to say, if you're watching this video right now, you are unlikely the target audience for that if Techland were to pursue a mobile game. That market and that audience is an entirely different audience than that has been playing Dying Light for the past 10 plus years. And if Techland really wanted to get new people really involved and excited about the Dying Light franchise, mobile could be the way to do it. I remember the last time I checked, the Dying Light franchise had over 45 million players without a mobile presence. So keep that in mind. I mean, especially with Tencent, which has a strong mobile presence with other games out there, PUBG Mobile being one of them, it kind of makes sense, and I'm not entirely against it. I just don't know what they could do in the mobile game realm to make it compelling for Dying Light. But yet again, when it comes to mobile games, sometimes you just don't have to make it compelling. You could just throw out anything and people will chomp at it if it's good enough. Now, another idea, this is probably the one that I think a lot of people watching this video might actually be somewhat intrigued by. It could work well, but it would take a lot of time and investment, and I don't know the specifics on how you would do it, but some sort of ongoing game, kind of similar to State of Decay or Project Zomboid, where Zomboid? How did I say it? It sounds weird. How did I say it? But anyway, some kind of ongoing game like State of Decay or Project Zomboid, where the goal is for you to fully embrace yourself into the post-apocalyptic era and fight against zombies, where you need to pay attention to your health stats, your hunger, your drinking. And I mentioned this one because literally just like 4 hours ago, the Beast got a Nightmare update, which, let me tell you about that for a second. It's an update where they introduced Nightmare mode as a difficulty, and this mode was designed for seasoned players, offering up a tougher experience with now alpha volatiles, which if you're a fan of the series before, we've seen those come across. This game mode introduces new survival mechanics, including a hunger system that affects stamina, health regeneration, and combat efficiency. Directly from their patch notes, it says the longer players ignore hunger, the stronger the penalties become. Additionally, the flashlight drains over time and will dim and flicker as the battery gets low, requiring players to craft or find replacements. So, going off of that, could this be Techland testing out different mechanics and seeing how it resonates with audiences before they flesh it out into a full game? Maybe. I don't know. I feel like a hardcore style game like that could work. Maybe. I don't know. I've always been in the mindset that developers should kind of just prioritize single player or co-op experiences that just have great gameplay with a good story, and the experience is solid from start to finish, and all the content is there and mostly available to you on day one, and it's not really drip fed to you over time. I just don't really like that mindset. And I don't know how Dying Light will translate to a fully fleshed out live service game where they want to constantly keep you checking in over months, weeks, years, etc. Like I said, Dying Light is kind of like in this weird realm right now where it kind of is live service, but it's kind of not. They just have a really good post-launch support. So I wouldn't say it's fully embraced live service yet, but with whatever direction they go with for this new game, this new experience, I hope they really nail it, because if it's something outside of their typical scope, getting more people involved with the franchise will make sure it continues to grow beyond just video games, which I would love to see Dying Light like as a TV show or a movie, etc. And that was the end of my thought. Techland has been doing a pretty good job with the Beast so far since launch. I mean, comparing Dying Light 2 with the Beast night and day difference, especially in terms of just how good the post-launch support has been so far. Like, I know I didn't cover it, but a few weeks ago, Dying Light the Beast just got its biggest update ever since launch. That update added in a boatload of new endgame content, such as New Game Plus, which allows you to replay Kyle's story experience, but keep all of your gear, your levels, your progression with a brand new enemy difficulty. You can also get exclusive higher tier rewards that aren't available in non-New Game Plus playthroughs. And New Game Plus can be repeated multiple times, and each time the difficulty gets harder with more rarer weapons being a reward. And legend levels were also added into that game, which included more skills and more abilities to make your character even more powerful, coming alongside more loot and rewards, ray tracing, new finishers, the list goes on and on and on. They also made 200 plus quality of life improvements to various issues that have plagued the game since launch, improved the flow of parkour, and plenty more. So Techland, overall, honestly, in a pretty good spot right now. I hope they keep it up. I feel like with this game, they kind of earned back the community support fully. Now they just got to stay on track, stay on course, and keep doing what they do best. Okay? Techland, that is my advice to you. Don't pull a Larian Studios, okay? Those poor guys have had a rough week, so just keep your head down, work on good content, work on good games, and we'll be there for you. But honestly, I feel like that's probably the final/last update that we're going to get for Dying Light this year. And that's why I'm going to title the video that way, because I'm a scumbag clickbaiting little shit who hasn't uploaded in over 3 months, and I need you to come back before the new year. But overall, for the franchise, I feel with the new game coming and also the Nightmare update, that's probably the final thing that we're going to get from Dying Light in 2025. And I'm sure in 2026, we're going to have plenty more stuff. We're going to have yearly anniversary for Dying Light 1 and Dying Light 2. So I'm sure they'll do something for that. But lastly, also kind of in the same realm that I wanted to tackle on this channel, because I know a lot of my Dying Light fans just also have a massive appreciation for the Dead Island series. It is, after all, where Techland started. They eventually pivoted and made their own IP, Dying Light, but at the end of the day, Dead Island is to thank for a good amount of the success that Techland has had throughout the years. And when Dead Island 2 was released almost 2 years ago, a lot of zombie fans loved it. That gore especially is incredible, and just what that game was able to achieve in this gaming industry is phenomenal. It was a game that was in development hell for years, and eventually came out and was actually pretty damn good. Also pretty damn polished too, which was surprising to many. I don't know how this game ran that well. It did. But nonetheless, we do have an official confirmation of a Dead Island 3 and a target release date for this project. We also have a little behind the scenes too, but in a financial report, it was stated that after the release of Dead Island 2 Ultimate Edition in October of 2024, the primary focus for Dambuster Studios is now Dead Island 3. All developers are assigned and will be assigned to Dead Island 3 once the Mac versions of Dead Island 2 are fully complete. The game right now is in early production of basic gameplay mechanics, characters, worlds, and the story, all moving at a nice pace with a predicted release window of Q1 and Q2 of 2028. So the first 6 months of 2028, the first half. What I also want to say is that back in September, it was teased that Dead Island 3 will be having a new location taking place outside of LA. In a tease image and post, it said, 14 years ago, Dead Island made a gory debut. Today, Dead Island 2 has dragged 20 million slayers into the sunny chaos of Hell A. The next outbreak, Dambuster is already drenched in the work. The journey is far from over. With a picture of Jacob packing his bags and leaving, possibly hinting that he himself is moving on, and that we may be getting introduced to a new cast of characters for the sequel. I don't know. But if you are a Zombies fan, you're gonna be in good for the next few years. If you're a COD Zombies fan, I'm sorry for your loss. But this video should be up very soon. It is the 17th right now, hoping to get it out by the 18th or 19th. Just wanted to step in before the new year. Wish you all happy holidays and a Merry Christmas. 2025, absolutely incredible year. I know I didn't upload as much as I did in the years prior. I do apologize for that. Just been super busy with everything. But I promise in 2026, I will stay more on top of it and also expand a bit more outside of the Dying Light niche and start covering more zombie games. I have had this one Days Gone video planned for a long time, and trust me, just hold out a little bit longer. It's gonna be good. But we also have plenty of other stuff due coming. And with that said, my friends, thank you all for watching. Please do leave a like and also subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.